In Parsha Acharei Mos, we are told at the very beginning of the Parsha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Aaron and warns Aaron about the avodah of the Yom Kippur avodah in the Kodesh Kedoshim. And the beginning of the Parsha starts, V'al Yovo b'chleis al Kodesh, reminding Aaron a few psukim into the Parsha that the Kodesh Kedoshim is a place that cannot be visited at any time. It's reserved for special times, and the Parsha goes on to explain that that special time will be Yom Kippur. And Rashi and the other Mefarshim point out that the reason, incredibly, and it really points out the sort of the psychological challenge that we live with throughout our lives. He says, because don't become ruggle. Let it not become herigel to you. Let it not become sort of commonplace to go into the Kodesh Kedoshim more than once a year. If you go in more often, it doesn't seem like even yet you have to go in every day. But if you were not limited to one time a year, your relationship with the Kodesh Kedoshim would be different. It would be, I'm a little bit more familiar. I'm a little bit more comfortable. And there needs to be a sense of reverence. There needs to be a sense of total sensitivity to the Kedusha inherent in the Kodesh Kedoshim, that if you were to go in more often than one time a year, then that would not be acceptable because it would affect your perspective. It wouldn't be as holy. It wouldn't be that special place. I've heard over the years that argument that people use. If you want to know why there's talking in shul, it's because, unlike maybe some other factions of Judaism, that they might go only on Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah for a day, or it's a rare experience. So it's very easy to stay quiet and have reverence because it's a unique occasion. But when you're in shul 3 times every day, at least for 3 davenings every day, and you're in shul, of course, on Shabbos a bunch of times, and this is my home. It's my home away from home. So that's why we talk, So the Orthodox Jews talk during davening because we're comfortable. Well, that might be a rationale, but it's certainly not a justification. But the point is that this is something that really we have to battle. It's an inherent challenge. Yovo b'chleis al Kodesh, don't let sanctity, don't let purity, don't let Avodas Hashem, service to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, become rote. And by definition, if you can become too familiar, you need to overcome that challenge, and don't let it be b'chleis al Kodesh. Even though we put on our tefillin every day, we do our mitzvahs every day, we do davening every day. And certainly there is that challenge for it to become routine. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu warned Aaron. Even in Aaron is warned, you can't come into the Kodesh Kedoshim anytime you want. It must be reserved for one time a year. Well, what do we do who are doing things every single day? We have a routine that demands an excitement and demands an eschatshus, a newness every single day in Avodas Hashem. How do you approach that sefer, that piece of Gemara, that davening, that mitzvah with a sense of newness when it's what I did yesterday and the day before yesterday and the day before that? So there are no simple answers. Clearly, there's a concept that Yisrael Slanter talked about throughout his life, and that's the concept of musar, of thinking about things, of recognizing the obligation for newness, the obligation for excitement, the obligation for thinking about how this is something that we can't get used to. We just can't let it develop, as second nature. I think if we all examine ourselves, our reaction to what's going on around us with the virus, I think, yes, we are probably much more antsy than we were a month ago, but it's almost like, you get comfortable with your routine. And sadly, you might get comfortable with the tragedies that we hear and the horrors of what's happening to so many people, so many special people. It's just horrific, and we can't let ourselves become sort of dulled by, well, it's routine. It happens. It doesn't come easy. It's almost It's counterintuitive to the way we naturally are. We have to fight that because HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us very clearly a Jew has to approach every day and approach mitzvahs as if they were commanded today from Har Sinai, which is what we're counting down, of course, during these incredibly important Sefirah days. So it demands thought, it demands introspection, it demands sort of a strategy. How do I keep things exciting? How do I make sure that when we go back, B'ez Hashem, soon to the shuls and to the schools and to the opportunities to interface once again, that it's not just, wow, we're excited and then we go back to the same routine, but to really appreciate the Chazei Hashem, to appreciate what we're going through now, to think about and be introspective about the messages that we have to take to heart, even now in terms of improving who we are and how we can come closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu. So this Al Yova B'Chais Al Kodesh is a concept that should resonate really throughout the year and throughout our lives. It can't be just another day at the office. It can't be just we do things by rote and we do things by routine. It's easy to fall into that trap, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is warning us that's a trap that's not acceptable. So Bez Hashem, if we really work hard, we think about the opportunities, we get emotional about the chance to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day. It's called Musa B'Spailis. It's taking fundamental principles and internalizing on a deeply emotional level. It takes time and it takes focus. It takes meditation, but it's something that a Jew needs to do. This is the method by which we internalize deep emotional feelings, even when the challenge is great. Bez Hashem will be successful in doing that. We'll be able to continue to grow, to appreciate every single day that we're given by Kodesh Baruch Hu, and that's Chus Bez Hashem will be zoche to only Besuras Toivis, Yeshuas V'Nechamos, and B'Yasem Shach Meher B'Meinu.